Have you set a course for your life? Do you do that every day? Knowing what you want is intention. Knowing how to get there is a study in conscious action. This is a show about living consciously. It is about our choices, our hopes, our dreams, our work, our loves, our vision, and the practice of healing and becoming. Welcome to Cruising in the Light and Shadow. Hello, I am Sheila Marie, also known as Keecha.
And my name is Inanna Moon. Welcome. And I have a friend here today. She is the owner of one of the coolest places in Pasadena. Her name is Dina Amato. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself? We're actually here today talking about shamanism, but it's going to go into a few different topics. But if you'd like to introduce yourself too.
So yes, my name is Dina Amato, and I, with my partner, own Alexandria 2, which is a metaphysical bookstore in Pasadena. He and I have owned it together since '94. He was one of the original owners.
Right.
And that's...
And also, I happen to be an intuitive reader, intuitive consultant at Alexandria 2 bookstore. And I just realized a couple of weeks ago I've been there 10 years now.
Really?
So, there were other shops before that, but this is such a lovely place to work.
Oh, yeah.
The people are wonderful.
The people are wonderful.
The other consultants, the staff, I love them all. So
The
let me
stuff.
gush about the stuff.
I spent,
Oh, my
I
goodness.
enjoy spending money there when I would go see Inanna. Oh, yeah, lots of fun stuff.
Books on every topic imaginable, but also everything for ritual, incenses and candles and...
Tarot cards.
Oh, yes, we did. So we just talked about tarot cards. So tarot cards and anything you want to point up in particular that you're excited about.
It started as a bookstore.
All right.
As mainly just books. And I'm a reader, so for me it's the books.
Ooh, yeah.
But thank goodness for all the other stuff, because that's the only reason we're still a bookstore that exists.
Today, yes, considering.
It's all the other stuff that it makes us able to have a bookstore.
I didn't even think about that. Sorry, that everything is probably online now.
Everything's online, and we had before Amazon. Borders moved in up the street,
Oh,
so we had to survive that. Borders and Barnes and Noble. And we finally got our
your flow.
with that, and then Amazon came.
And they
and
have a
then-
bookstore now.
Yeah, no, because isn't that a neat idea?
Yeah.
And then Borders, they took Borders out of it, and we stayed. So it was pretty cool that we lasted through that. But it's mainly because we just brought in what we could carry and what people needed
So
for
incense.
their growth. Incense, and we just made it more crystals, a lot of crystals, more the jewelry.
And rare items as well. And you can order items from Alexandria too as well. So
Yes, unfortunately not online.
Well,
You have to call the
you have to
old-fashioned way and we'll send
call
it to
or
you.
come in and then.
Well, I always enjoy talking to your staff.
Well, kind of what happened, we tried an online store, but the funny thing is we realized with our store, people want to come in. Half of what they're getting is the experience when they're in the store. Which is it's exciting. It's a neat thing to hear people say that. But it also means that online store didn't work, which is fine.
But that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not our thing.
I love brick and mortar. I love going
do
in.
too.
Yeah, and I try to buy stuff online.
Veers off course, but I
Yes,
don't
okay.
understand how so many stores can close for lack of people, because I feel you have to go in to know more about what you're looking for or more possibilities. So
You want to touch the stones. I mean, I don't even.
gemstones, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm assuming
do.
Amazon has that, but
Yeah.
there's something
They do.
really that's so weird. I just
agree.
Someone
sorry.
else picking for you.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
don't.
And then oh gosh, that brings up sorry for people who do that, but somebody else is there's gonna be their oh wow, there's gonna be their energy on my stone.
Well,
You
temporarily.
You should, because what should we do with stones once we buy them?
Well, people get, that's one of the things, people get really caught up in I have to do this to the stone, I have to do that to the stone, I have to make the stone my own. It's contaminated. And really, if a stone sits by itself in the case, it's not holding on to, I don't know what, whoever held. It's not holding on
kind
to
of
it.
devoid
It's
of-
devoid.
So
yeah,
don't
it's
jinx
not
yourself.
till you get
No,
it and
no.
you work with it that it'll take on what you need it to take on. I think people overthink that one.
I think we do. I think it might be a Virgo OCD thing for me. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this.
Well, you know what? I think also
well, we're taught too, some of us in our traditions, to cleanse your stones. But I would just want people's fingerprints off instead
Yeah.
of so salt water or
No,
a
it's-
cloth, just rubbing a cloth.
it's
through.
good to clean the stone. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It's but I don't think they're contaminated before we do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's as. I mean, I think people enjoy the production of cleaning it, which is great.
Yes.
Realize you're enjoying it as opposed to it has to be done. It's good to be done, and it's enjoyable to do it. That's the
Yes,
truth. It's
it
really
is.
that's a way to work with the stone, is the time you take to clean it and to, love it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Make it your
and-
own.
Yeah.
Make it
That
your
is
own,
perfect.
right?
Enjoy your
Enjoy it,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, that's very important. I think we all get a little too steps. Let's
Or stuck.
yes, stuck.
Yes. Yeah. So, Dina, how you and I met, for me, I had just seen you in the shop.
So you shop there.
I used to shop, yes. When I worked somewhere else and I could just walk a few blocks, I would go spend time getting through the fact that I worked at an office where I wasn't thrilled to be, but all the while teaching. I was also a meditation teacher and doing some other things. But a friend who was working at the shop told you, I think.
Yeah, you
about
were
me.
referred by a reader at the store that I really trust. I'm going to trust
Yes.
all of them. So
Oh yeah.
I called you on your birthday to ask you to come to the store.
And I did.
Yes.
Thankfully.
We've been very happy.
Yay.
Yeah, I was saying I worked at a few different stores, but this one has made me the happiest, and it's the joy of the people that come there, and the energy of the store has always fascinated me. Because prior to my being there, and still, it sometimes feels like a temple. It just has
Yes.
a presence
Totally.
to it, a warmth, and what do you do to create that? Do you feel?
Yeah, I've thought about that, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, just as a practitioner, definitely I go in and do the whole cleansing and smudging and very, frequently. But the store, even when I do that, and I know other staff members do it too, throughout the years, every staff member's kind of put in their own thing. The store has its own energy, and it has its own guides that I definitely feel strongly. When I walk in, it's like there's these guardians of the store that I think we've welcomed, and I think Ralph, my partner, and I have been part of just our nature is that we've let the store be itself. Neither one of us have much ego
Good.
in it, and I think that's partly what's let the store create itself. So I mean, my prayer always going through the store is that people find what they need.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I'm never specific with what that might be, just that when people walk in, they find what they need. And many times what they need is just to come in, and they don't need to buy anything.
So, you are a shaman, and I wanted to say, we hear in the world that title, and again, I go with so many different visions. You get the TV version, and then you get the people who actually do it. So, what is it, and what is the aspects of it?
Well, and I know I've spoken about this a lot, because there's the way we think of traditional shamanism, right? There's the North American traditional. There's the Peruvian traditional, there's the Siberian traditional. You know, it's so difficult because there's so many different traditions. When I speak of shamanism, I speak of just being able to go into the other realms to get the help the person needs to heal. So to be able to travel in and out of the realms to bring back the healing for the client or for the person who needs it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I would just want to say, because I found this fascinating myself, that the origins of shamanism are not simply Native American, as Dina was saying, but they think that the origins are with the Tungus tribe in Siberia, as she mentioned. And so shamanism has always been. It's the tradition in every tribal group where there's everything, again, Dina was saying, where there's counseling and healing and bringing babies into the world and retrieval of something that you've lost within yourself, and a variety of things. And that it happened all over the world. It's the first religion or spirituality of the earth. Everyone had tribal healers.
And that's what it is.
And
It's
shamanism means knowing. Shaman means knowing, or one who knows.
healing. Oh, see, I did not know that.
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Teachers,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
So I thought we would talk a couple of minutes about cultural appropriation, because the feeling is, can anyone just be a shaman?
Yeah, which is why, like off camera, I asked, you are a shaman, correct? Because in our mind, we picture the Native Americans. And,
Right. And I don't usually say I'm a shaman.
yeah. I was going to say.
By any means.
Surprising.
But then when we broke down what it meant, it's like, okay, yes, that is a shamanic technique I use when I work on people. But so much of it is really, vocabulary.
Exactly.
Are you going to the lower world or are you going to the subconscious? Are you going to the upper world or are you going to the superconscious? It's all the same thing.
And can you explain that, the different worlds?
So in a lot of the traditional, again, indigenous shamanic traditions, to help the person in need, the shaman would journey. So usually through drumming or some kind of rhythmic thing. So they'd go into an altered state, and they could journey to, there's the lower worlds, the middle worlds, it's our worlds, and the upper worlds. And this is where you would go to gain access to parts of that person's soul that might be fragmented or need the healing, and you bring it back. You bring that healing back for them.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I get I'm such a visual.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, I can totally see it. Oh, that's so awesome. And I love journeying, so that's beautiful. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then the cultural appropriation.
The cultural appropriation, the unfortunate thing. Well, many people became excited about learning shamanism or shamanic practices. And so there nothing wrong with that.
No.
There are many teachers out there, some from Native backgrounds, but some have come, with that information and with the intention of teaching this to the Western world. But suddenly there were starting to be teachers who said, oh, yes, I'm a shaman. I've now studied for a few weekends, or that's just a few. I'm not talking about the ones who have studied extensively, but can you call yourself a shaman if you are not a member of the indigenous people or a tribe? That's the question.
I think you can, because just by the definition of shaman.
All right.
Sometimes what people are saying specifically, I'm an Andean shaman, or
and not having been born and raised.
Well, not
in that
you could,
tradition?
even if you're not born and raised, you can be initiated into
Yes, you can.
people's traditions, but that's a serious ceremony, and usually you will say I was, welcomed into this lineage, and there's
Right.
a training and
Studying the
you did
history of the
you
people.
did the training that it
Yeah.
took to get there.
Exactly, exactly. And then yes, you are welcome. And I think that's pretty rare. I think it's nicer when people could just say, I've studied these traditions, I've taken
Yes.
from these traditions, or I've learned from these traditions, a little more.
So you have a
I
few
agree.
things
Yeah, I
in your
agree.
toolbox. Sorry.
Yes. No, it's
Yes, I have a very big toolbox.
Oh, good. Which we should all have.
I couldn't imagine just having one. I could not imagine it at all. I know, I shouldn't, I guess that's perfect for some people. I just,
But you like to learn because you're
Yeah.
if you're going to be walking people their fragments back, you're also going to be dealing with people from many different traditions.
absolutely. So you don't want to, a lot of people I'm not going to say, we just got a fragment of your soul back, because that's just going to,
They're going to, what?
yeah, and that's not
be
going to help
confused-
anybody.
Be
Yes.
confused by that.
And
Yes,
so you
right.
do have to know, who you're talking to, and that's one of my tools or gifts is I'm very empathic. So I really get a sense of who I'm working with and how to work with that person. Yeah, because that's really important. You have to be with them where they are in order to take them somewhere else. So it's
They need to trust you. Yeah, you need to connect. And that we were talking about that
We
on
were
past
talking
show.
about that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The sense I have of it too, I've studied several shamanic traditions as well, and we didn't talk about this answer, if you will. Some of it was being able to connect with your spirit guide or spirit guides as you go through your training. And my sense of it when I was working with spirit guides and also animal guides that came through, they help you know what direction to go. You know what you want to do in your own mind, and they're certainly choosing your own path, but also you will receive from guidance tools, gifts, information to take you on a journey, perhaps toward becoming a shaman, but maybe simply for your own healing. So there are so many layers to this. Or maybe you're some other kind of a practitioner. I was in yoga, and meditation came, and there was an opening of my intuition. This is just a for instance. But when I went into shamanism, it was just to learn a few things, but I went on a healing journey, and it was something I wanted more of. It was surprising to me to go journeying. It was Dennis, actually. He's this beautiful. He was a shamanic practitioner, native shamanic practice, but now he's a fairy shaman. Oh,
That's awesome.
Sheila's ears pricked up.
Yeah, a fairy shaman, two of my favorite things.
But beautiful journeys where I met a guide who just a few thoughts came through. I could see him. I'm clairvoyant and clairaudient and clairsentient, so I could feel it, I could hear it, I could see it. I was picking up things that I hadn't thought of before. My totem animal who came through aligned with my chakras, and there was an alignment and a shifting that took energy out that I no longer needed, or thoughts out, and experiences put them in a different perspective than I had had before. That was extraordinary, and so that's what got me into shamanism. But you had a question.
I had a question,
Yes.
and again, I'm going with the very Hollywood version of shamanism.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about spirit guides. So would shamanism have many spirit guides, or would it be animal guides as your primary guide in the shamanism tradition?
Right. Again, so the animals would be in the middle world, and then your higher guides would be in the upper worlds.
So the ascended masters, we would.
Yes.
Okay.
Would be in the so yeah, it's all of them. And I'm still a little unsure how we're using the word shaman.
Okay. Yeah.
Because again, for me, I'm just thinking of shaman as one who travels
Into the
other worlds to help.
The under
Yeah.
middle.
But, so when you're asking
and
the
upper.
question, you're talking about like the Hollywood
The Hollywood version,
indigenous
yes. Mhm.
Smith shaman. Yeah,
Yeah. Which
that's yeah. The animals are in one
Yeah.
world, and that's how and that's actually one way you know which world you're in. Oh, there's a rabbit. I must
that's awesome. So for me, I apologize. I'm just, we're saturated with the whole Hollywood version of the shaman. So, but for me, I worked with shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't.
Shaman. No, just shaman. Yes.
Women, and we've done healing. So for me, it means healing, as you've said. So yeah. So I just wanted to throw that Hollywood thing out.
I'm glad you said that too, and I hope it's okay to bring this up. Get edited out if it's not. But it's really alarming that there are, I've heard of at least, two practitioners, and I'm not going to say their names, I don't even remember their names, who are shamans, and they dress, and they wear the whole outfit and everything. And one in particular apparently tells, at least the women, that's who I spoke with, to take off their clothes for the healing. And, my response was, I don't know if that's what they did, in the Amazon or whatever, but you're not in the Amazon now, and that's not okay. So there's, being
you have
dressed.
To have permission, certainly, from.
There's absolutely no need for the woman to be.
There is no
need.
need.
There's no
for
need.
Someone to be.
So just because someone's wearing the outfit, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, because
anyone can get the outfit.
That's true.
So I just want to put that out
That's
there.
That's a good point. Yeah, and that is.
You mean my shaman T-shirt isn't going to?
No, it's okay. It doesn't. Not to negate everyone who wears the correct garb, but.
So always use your gut, basically.
Yes. Don't do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Don't assume, even if they're the greatest shaman in the world, that they are doing what's best for you if you're feeling differently.
Exactly. Yeah, because you're supposed to be healing and relating, and the gut and the solar plex. So that's
Exactly.
touching on every show we just did.
Yes, I believe so.
Good.
And that would be true in medical practice also.
Exactly.
It's like, how comfortable are you with the practitioner, whatever they may be?
Yeah, no matter how many degrees they have,
have,
it doesn't
yeah,
mean.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Follow
Very
your
much
gut.
so.
That's my advice.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have, I thought we would also talk about what kinds of things you've done or any of us have done, because there's also, I want to include something too, which would be that those in goddess traditions, you can call it goddess shamanism, or you might consider it Wicca, which is about knowledge and a healing knowledge, or witchcraft, which is these are ancient. Witchcraft has an ancient tradition behind it. Wicca may be more modern, but uses some shamanic traditions as well. I'm going to stumble over that word every time, but I would like to particularly talk, though, about shamanism and some of the work you've done, and
You mean with clients?
with
You mean,
clients, naming no one,
right.
of course.
Yeah.
And that's interesting too, which Nana and I spoke about in defining shamanism, because when I'm with the client, it happens just organically. I'll have my hands in certain places, and then I'll notice, a piece just came back, or you know what I mean. And I didn't do the actual consciously journeying to find the piece, and I haven't done the formal steps for it to happen. So there's a lot of it just organic.
You might not know. What I liked that we were discussing previously is you might not know whether you're in the underworld or you're receiving from the middle world or the upper world at the time that you're healing, that you're doing the work. It's just that spirit may come through, a piece may come back.
Yeah, it's I've had just ridiculous things happen just spontaneously, like curse removal, that kind of thing, where it's just, and I wasn't expecting that at all, obviously. Well, I guess some people come in and say I have a curse. This person hadn't. So I think that it's beneficial because I'm not, I'm letting whatever that person needs to come through. And I'm usually surprised and excited by it. But yeah, if I got caught up in, is it this, the astral bodies, it's the, causal body, the real body. And for me, it would limit what I could do.
So they say, which multidimensional plane am I coming from? No, in the middle of the healing, you're just right there, and it's the knowledge of it is with you, but you don't have to know exactly where it's coming from.
So again, with the general public and pop culture, you hear the word cursing. Mm-hmm. People think, oh, I've been cursed. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, and it is used a lot. And there's a whole gypsy tactic with it, too. A lot of times we go to a practitioner or a reader, not at our store, and they'll say, you have a curse on you, give me $1,000, I'll clear the curse. Which is frightening if someone tells you have a curse on you.
Yeah.
The experience.
$500 candles.
Right.
So, no.
Right. Let me take this particular experience, and then we go into how it affects the soul, and then how shamanism works in that. Does that?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this particular instance, my hand was on somebody, just as a normal, transfer of energy healing session, but the person, he started to feel it was painful. It hurts, and then right away I was like, well, what does it feel like? And he said it's the hook. So that feedback helped. I'm like, oh, it's a hook. So then I started to look more into it, and then the whole picture came with, this old woman, and this it was an old woman, and it was a curse actually on this man's mother, and her future children.
Oh.
Which later then he spoke to his mom, and we kind of got confirmation about this scene and this old, scary old lady that did this. So we unhooked, which is, it almost feels like a literal hook, like a fish hook.
Oh, wow.
And so we unhooked it, we sent her away, sealed everything up, kind of made some new, about creating a new story.
Oh, yay, yeah.
So we created a new narrative without her. And after that, the proof's in the pudding. After that session, a lot of things happened, not just for him, but for his brother. Really good things, really good forward movement, things in their lives and their career. So it was really interesting. It was like, do you think that has to do?
Yeah.
It was strange to see that result. It was a very profound session. Tour afterward, then we followed with a walk, a little hike near where we were, and there was just a lot of shedding that followed all the way. It was all the way up the hill. It was shedding. And as we're walking, I kind of could hear thank yous from his grandmother.
Oh,
it was it was really powerful, and I don't think he was even aware of that part. And then we did a little ritual when we got to the top, which also lends itself to what we were talking about as far as it's so hard sometimes to do these healings in a, here we have an hour in this room to do a healing. You know what I mean? That's not
it's like time.
Yeah. And I was laughing with
I'm sorry, you have to go.
with one of the other videos.
No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
No, I was saying, the Oracle of Delphi didn't have a timer in the back. Like, could you imagine?
The sun.
Yeah.
He doesn't work the sun.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's so strange to bring, it's challenging and exciting, to balance that. And I was just lucky in this situation that I had the time and the ability to follow through like that. And, maybe it was just the opening was there, and that's why it happened then. And then afterward, there was a lot more than sealing up what happened. And there were more sessions that followed, of course, yeah.
So taking out the negative, and then you helped put in the...
Yes. So then, it's about... because then when you take something out like that, whether it be a fear, or sometimes you'll take out things and or for me, it's like you can almost feel like a ball or something just left the person. Sometimes it's audible. It's very interesting.
Ooh.
But so then there's a space. So then it's very important to fill that space with love or light or the new story, whatever they want, because there's space now for that.
Oh.
So that's really, it's important, and that's the fun part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and
bringing the light back in.
Yeah.
Definitely. Taking out the shadow.
Mm-hmm. And even with a client of mine who, Anana knows, she had fibroids removed. I'm sorry, she had fibroids. She had her uterus removed.
Oh,
But
all the way.
what we decided to do is really realize, wow, you just created a lot of space.
Yeah.
And how are we going to bless this space and create something new there? Because it was obviously it was obviously unhealthy, and things were growing in there you didn't want it to grow. So what are we going to create now? So it was really beautiful, and she's great. So instead of seeing it really as a void, we really took the opportunity to fill the space with something new and beautiful and healing.
That is really good. I never thought of that because I'm surrounded by women who've had that happen, and some of them really do put something new in, or some of them are kind of stuck, wondering
I've had people,
where now.
I've had people come in who say, I don't know why I'm not healing from this, or this happened, or they'll have had an operation a year before, and they still, and while it can take a very long time, it's very true. You might not just heal in a few months from something, but if you feel you're missing something, or there's a profound feeling that there's a gap and that there's something profound that needs to come to you, there is all sorts of work. What if a story that belongs to you because of, for instance, fibroids stopped, and now it needs to come back in, and maybe you don't need to be right where that storyline is, but you need to be able to go through it or remember it or bring back something that it's like a through line of a play, and you went off course. Now that needs to come back.
I was having a talk, excuse me. I was having a talk with my cousins, and I don't know what my brain went to postpartum, because having a baby, it's ripped out of you, and yeah, you have this gorgeous human with you now, but it was living inside of you. It's kind of overwhelming that I've disconnected. So
it's part of your story too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? she or he is part of your story too.
So I totally believe that they're in postpartum. I because it's like I'm missing. We were so in sync, and now okay. So yeah, okay. Put something back in.
That's funny because the thing you want me to read something is about the void.
Oh,
but I didn't realize we were going to be
perfect.
talking about that. But
yeah, synchronicity.
Spirit did
yes,
somehow.
Yeah. I love when that happens.
Are there portals within the body or would you say the body, or would you say the subtle body? How would you call it?
In my experience, only from in my experience, I don't even know if I've been taught this, but in my experience, there have been times when I've been working on somebody, maybe in a certain chakra, and I could just feel that we've opened a portal. We're somewhere completely different. Sometimes you'll lose time. It's like I'll look and right, or there's just a sense of there's just a sense, it. There's something's opened and it's bigger than both of you. So I think they were able to access portals through the body.
I mean, for me, we can certainly talk about the chakras and I used to not view them as portals of energy, but they are. I believe that they are your connection to a multidimensional universe, and so there are pathways through you to your healing, and then pathways or reverberations of energy that come back and tell you what's going on with someone. And while I do goddess shamanism, I more consider myself like a Reiki practitioner, or just an I don't even have to use that word, just an energy practitioner, in the sense that I've been able to stand there, and it's mind's eye, not necessarily my physical eyes, although there could be flashes of light and so forth, but my mind's eye, I will see a portal open up or a center, and then it will show me where it's going through the body. It's like it could be a zigzagging motion, or it could be something that changes color, or I will see a scene playing out, and I will just be standing there and holding space so that I can figure out what's going on and listen to spirit, listen to the body of the person in front of me. And the person laying there in front of me will say, I'm having this memory about my mother, and I don't know why this came up. So again, it doesn't have to be the mother, but if it's like that, if it's a memory from your childhood or a memory, it could be a mother from another lifetime, because everything you are is housed in your subtle field. But that it will be like layers will start to come together for me. Again, and I'm kind of asking you too, is that similar?
No.
Everybody, and that's what's fascinating.
No.
Is for everybody, it's different.
Yeah.
Probably for every practitioner, there are
I
some
would
different things
think.
that happen on. Oh, that was also what I thought was exciting about this, is that every practitioner is going to be very different. And while it's clear that shamanic teachers are teaching you their ways and methods, I'm hearing and understanding they also have to leave it to the shaman anyway. They're not, just because there are certain guidelines and practices doesn't mean there are rules that absolutely dictate how the healing happens.
I almost want to say there are no wrong way other than something harmful towards somebody
That would hurt
physically.
someone.
Yeah.
Right, but you do want to have some sense of a person's physical body.
Yes.
I see a kind of absence
Yes.
of that as well, where people aren't really, they're so involved with the chakras and the past life and the curses that they forget that there's a physical body right there.
Exactly.
And that body in this world, in this time and place, is the most important thing.
Yes.
So so there's some just
Disclaimers. It's okay.
Well,
You don't have to.
there are some things people should know.
Before they start
Before
this.
they do that.
Yeah,
Obviously.
definitely. Yeah, just, and even for yourself, because I've practiced with a shamanic energy healing with a friend of mine, and if I don't ground afterwards, I will get sick.
Oh yeah, you have to ground.
And
You have
you
to pull
should-
your soul fragments back from that session,
Exactly,
because
yes.
you were just out there merged with that person, and they could walk away with part of you if you don't know what you're doing.
That makes sense.
It's really not. I don't want to say it's not as easy as it seems, because
It
it is
should-
easy, but it's
You have to be.
it's a skill.
Well, there can be an emotional impact
Yeah.
from this. Emotional, physical,
Energetically.
energetic or subtle.
Yeah.
Yes. So having, to me, you should listen. If you've gone to a trusted practitioner, you should listen to what to do for after care, and talk to them. I do this. I say, please, I'm available for you just to call me or email or whatever. What's going on? I'd like to hear your experience days after or any time after, so that I know what's going on. And
You're
if I
like
can
a
offer
doctor.
more help, I'm happy to do that.
Follow up is good. And
Yes.
So I feel like with everything, with all that we talk about on the show, metaphysical, energetic, and healing, everyone has the ability to do it. You just have to tap into it. But I think we all have to have a certain respect for it, not to just jump in blindly, do a little studying, talk to somebody to help you.
That's beautifully put. Yeah, you need respect for it.
Thank you. So I would love to talk about how you both do the cards in this new and exciting I can't. I'm having difficulty. Thank you.
Not so new. We're looking
For me.
at the medicine cards, which have been around quite a long time. I'm going to have you actually have an intention in mind, Sheila Marie, and then Dina, if you would draw a card,
For her.
and we'll see what it brings.
Do you have your
Do you have
intention?
your intention?
Okay, great. Why don't you shuffle? You shuffle, then I'll pick it.
And it's so different. It's the smaller amount. How many cards are in here?
I am not certain.
It's not
how
72.
many
Like
there are. It is definitely not 72.
and they're beautifully made too. So
Yeah, these are the OG animal cards.
These are the
I've had this deck.
Jamie Sams and David Carson wrote the.
Oh, she got excited
our-
about that.
That should not be in.
Oh, we said that would happen, right?
All right, oh my goodness. Okay, one more
Oh.
time. Are you
Or
going to
how
go
about-
with that one? Or are you going to
What do you think?
I would go with this one.
Okay.
that one? Okay. So here
I've
you
seen a
go.
lot of
Well, spider makes a lot of sense to me.
I've seen a lot of spiders lately.
And you can go ahead and find where that is if there's anything you want to read about her. But spiders weaving the web, and so it can be for she's a good card for writers or a project, and asking yourself what kind of network or web do you need to. You got network on the other show that we did recently, but what kind of network do you need, and what do you need to knit it together?
Ooh, I like that knitted together because it does. It looks like a.
Yeah, she looks like she's knitting.
Here's another part of her medicine, which is a little interesting.
Great.
Spider weaves the webs of fate for those who get caught in her web and become her dinner. This is similar to humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world and never see beyond the horizon into the other dimensions.
Oh,
I
okay.
think you're helping people get past that.
I'm hoping. I had a spider in my car that was, my car. I'm saying farewell to my car soon. She came down and
You're weaving
she
a
was like
new
right
web.
here.
Oh,
You're leaving one web and a new one is a new path is opening. Oh,
And I love the spider.
yeah. You looked when you looked at him, like, oh, that must be it.
I just wish I wasn't like driving and almost crashing. Okay, and I tried to save her, take her outside. So, we asked if there was something you'd like to read for us.
Oh, right.
well, first
Oh,
we
yes.
want to talk about. Is there anything from Alexandria 2 or anything you want to talk about that's coming up
At the store?
at the store? Yeah.
No, we don't
And
really.
also how we contact you.
Yes.
Oh,
Since you are a shamanic practitioner and do
Yeah.
sessions, beautiful sessions for people.
It certainly sounds like it.
you contact me through the store, through Alexandria 2. Should I give the number?
Yes.
Yes.
It's 626-792-7885. And you just let them know you want a session with Dina. And
Excellent.
I have you on speed dial. You're in Alexandria 2 is on my favorites. on my iPhone.
In your favorite list, yes.
So it told me when it was the birthday, which was, I think, a couple months ago.
October, yeah. yeah, every now and then we get stuff out. That's great. Every 30 years.
Really? Well, that's
35
wonderful.
years, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
And then you're there as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
I am there on Mondays from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. So
And they
you can call. You can also call and make appointments. I do phone sessions as well as in-person one-on-one sessions there.
My recommendation is if you go into Alexandria 2 for a reading with either one of you, set aside like a half an hour because there's a lot of good stuff there you want to see and play and touch with that you may want to buy. And there may be recommendations after a reading that you may need, I've found the best jewelry and stones.
Gorgeous jewelry.
Oh.
Dina often chooses that jewelry. Good taste.
Job. Good job. Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you have a couple of other things happening?
I would say stay tuned to my website,
Yes.
inanamoon.com.
And you will also see Alexandria 2 connected to that, so they will see the.
They absolutely
Yeah.
will. Yes, you'll
Yeah.
see where I'm holding sessions throughout the week.
Ah, yes.
Definitely.
And,
And how about you? Do you have anything coming up?
I have comedy. I have our comedy series on Amazon, The Secret Office, and it talks about our great characters who are funny and lovable dealing with today as Secret Service agents. So, and First Comes Like, also a movie
yes.
on Amazon.
Can't miss that.
So,
And so, Dina, please, if you'll share your reading
Okay,
with
so
us.
this is from an older, older. I think it's the 80s. It's I Remember Union, and it's channeled material, channeled Mary Magdalene material. The author is Flo Calhoun.
Calhoun. Yes.
And I think I read a lot of, I love Mary Magdalene, and there's a lot of different versions of what her life was like, and they're all beautiful.
Yeah.
This particular piece I'm going to read is, so Mary Magdalene in this book was a great healer, and she knew what her destiny would be. She knew what she'd end up being called. She knew everything that was going to happen ahead of time. And this is where she talks about how she started to get through that. And it's called The Void because she's talking about that's where she ended up going to find peace. And reading, I thought, this just applies to everybody, especially people in our worlds,
Yes.
in our tribe. Okay. To feel as if you do not belong anywhere is a special kind of aloneness. It leaves an imprint of emptiness within, perhaps a void. And there is nowhere to turn, and that is how I felt. Sometimes with someone I loved, there was a place to reside, a place to rest, to merge, and to become one in the way of all. And then there would be this return of aloneness when they were gone that would shatter the sense of oneness and lead me back to despair and to nothingness. Deep in myself, I would weep, yearning for my soul to reveal itself more plainly as my friend, so I could embrace it and call it to me, and know again the truth of my unity with all things. And it would not come. Like reluctant child, my soul would linger within the far reaches of my being when I would call. Does the soul belong to us, or does it not? Where is the design that we cannot find it at each moment in each yearning? I reached inside and called, and it did not come. And I screamed into the void, a silent scream, and cursed my existence and the design and the plan that led me to such a point of aloneness. And I was alone. I was exhausted, and I rested in the only place I knew, in that void, within that aloneness. It carried me, and I went, unresisting. It carried me, and I went. We traveled, and I let go and surrendered, and I went. I began to feel nothingness around me, the place of the void, enclosing me and surrounding me, and ultimately, to my surprise, supporting me. I relaxed into the place of nothing. I grew and I expanded. I allowed myself to not define my safety, and I felt safe. I allowed myself to be alone, to stay there. When I would resist and try to return to the place of human despair, I would feel the emptiness there, and the void felt richer, more alive, and I would go again within. And I let go even more, allowing the moment to be whatever it was. Thoughts would enter about all manner of things to distract me from the moment, and I would return within, knowing that there was no place else to go, nowhere that was more safe. I would bargain with the nothing space within, but it would not be fooled. There was no escape except to be there. No one would rescue me from this search. So I went inward and became stronger. I followed the path of my soul into the bowels of my creation. And suddenly, I felt light returning to my mind, as if the light was emanating from deep within me, and it was. I opened to receive it, and it shone upon me the way a child joyfully welcomes one back from a long journey. There was a child inside there, and discovery and joy, and all the things which I had sought outside myself. There was a pulsing and a deepening, an invitation, and I accepted. I went forward, catching my breath, and the welcome remained. There was no withdrawal, and I went nearer. I expanded more, reaching within, and rather than less, there was more and more. I did not end. I was not hollow. I was not empty. I was full and fuller. The journey home had begun.
Wow.
Perfect.
That was awesome.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. What was the name of the book again?
It's I Remember Union, The Story of Mary Magdalene by Flo Calhoun.
All right. I'm getting that book.
It's the story of Mary and Jesus and Judas. And it's very interesting
Their
because
relationship.
their bond before birth, the agreement they made, so it really goes into those soul contracts, and then how they carry that out.
And I'm hearing journeys into the underworld,
Oh, yeah.
the rise, the fall and the rise.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, Well, thank you so much for being with us,
Thank
Dina.
you. This was fun.
Appreciate you for coming today.
Yeah. And you'll have to come back. And we have so much to talk about. So thank you for joining us here in Cruising in the Light and Shadow.
My name is Inanna Moon.
I'm Sheila Geacham-Marie, reminding you that love is everywhere. Our lives touch everyone and everything. So please go forth in love.
Satnam.